button has been clicked. We are live again for another
I
Monday.
I just got home from Oklahoma. No, I'm just kidding. Just walked in the door.
Yesterday.
Uh,
Yeah. So how was that drive? That's like a 8-hour drive for you?
7:30. But I mean, yeah, I mean, restroom breaks, gas. Honestly, I can do that whole trip now and just get gas once. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So,
Theron
but
says
yeah,
he still wore out from the weekend.
who did? Oh, there. Oh, he was wore
Theron.
out when he got there.
Oh man, I'm sure Bear made a bunch of new friends.
And retained old ones.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, he's being a
Hitting
good
that
boy.
beard. Yeah. Cool. So,
Yeah, where your
you
beard
you
goes
took
do what?
uh, you you took a monster truck to a NASCAR race. It sounds like in Oklahoma.
Um, yeah, what's a good analogy? Maybe, yeah, we'll just go with that. Yeah, so it was kind of last second to go for me. So it's not like I was building a whole new truck, but I would entertain running. Um, but it was pretty difficult, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, some of the parts. So to be honest, I had this new frame mocked up. I was kind of excited to run it and see what it can do. Those are pretty tricky courses, man. That's not really what the hard body I have set up's meant for. So I struggled
Yeah.
um, a bit.
Yeah. A
Uh,
little bit, a lot.
yeah, no, honestly, I knew after the first like two courses, I was like, nah, I can try to minimalize damage to the body,
Yeah.
and maybe try to not burn up anything. Um, Mainly my winch, because that was getting used quite a bit. Um,
It looked like even the finals courses were pretty much just winch fest.
yeah, there was maybe I would say maybe 33% of the gates you could drive through. Some of the trucks would do better, some wouldn't. Maybe 33, maybe 50%. But yeah, a lot of winching. Um, that's not my strong hand. And actually, um, having showed up, I didn't even really route my winch cable. It just kind of went straight to the fairlead. So I was getting like, if I didn't keep constant tension on that cable, I was getting the spool back, and it was kind of a show. Um,
Yeah.
I would say I would say more than halfway through all the courses, it was just kind of theatrical. But I got a pretty good attitude. I'm not really upset or anything. I know what I brought there, and I kind of
Yeah.
had a general idea of what I was up against, but I was primarily there to hang out.
Yeah. It taking number one, taking hard body trucks to that area
Yeah,
is
very
setting
tough.
yourself up for a difficult day, um, and especially going to a comp held by guys who regularly comp at that location. So
Correct. Yeah.
they know where the good hard stuff is, and it looks like they ran a bunch of it. We got a bunch of new names in the chat tonight. So how's it going to everybody in the chat? Um,
Josh
Theron
Schisner,
says
is
you
that?
always.
I think that's a
Oh
new
yeah,
one.
he's new. He's new. Yeah, always had a smile on your face. Um, I mean, it's hard not. I mean, I guess it's not hard to do, but it's not hard to do when you're having fun with your friends playing with tiny trucks, as long as you're not trying to take it too serious. You know.
Yeah. I wasn't sad. If I was sad, I would have been probably drinking on course.
Yeah.
maybe a twisted tea or something, but I was there that week.
So
And
Red Dirt RC Crawlers got his pace setter into the finals, which was super cool to see. And then
yes, I got a
you
picture
had
of probably.
two other team drivers that made it into the finals. Also, both Jake and Tim made it into the finals with prototype chassis.
Yep,
So that was cool. So it was 3 Brazen chassis and 3 CBE chassis in the finals.
it was a cool duel off, man.
Yeah,
The thing with the cool thing about Red Dirts is that's a factory upgrade frame with bolt-ons. So that
yeah,
was
it's a
actually really
bolt
cool.
on chassis.
Tim he was dribbling stuff Thursday night, the night of, like, we are hitting the rocks the next morning, completing his
Yeah,
build. So he hit those courses with a completely fresh truck. He's probably had maybe
yeah,
a couple minutes of wheel time on. Um, Jake's had his for a little bit. I don't know, maybe a couple weeks. But I mean, other than that, everyone did
yeah.
pretty good.
Still prototype chassis. So it's not like they've had a bunch of new or a bunch of time on the new platform. Um, I was seeing this comment. Josh and I talked on the phone a little bit yesterday over text message. Send cut send for these build alongs. Josh does a lot of stuff with the send cut send. Well, send cut send doesn't do international shipping. So what Josh suggested to me was that since we have laser connections, that I just go ahead and get a batch of these laser cut and just stock them for international people who want to participate in the build alongs. So they can just buy the laser cut stuff from our site, and they still have to buy the 3D print files and do the build along. But basically, it's just offering another stream for people to purchase the files. Which, yeah, if you want to put that in the scale news, cool. Don't forget to send me the file for the this piece and the servo mount piece. I need that file so that I can get that stuff ordered. I don't remember. Oh, it was those 2 pieces and then the inner fender, the aluminum pieces for the inner fenders. I don't know where those are. They're here somewhere, but I need that file, Josh. Don't forget when you get home. We did our budget buggy challenge on Sunday. Sadly, snapped a CVD drive pin. I'll be ordering a replacement. Amazon R1 cage copy. Oh, it's such a cool idea. I wish that most of it wasn't knockoff stuff though. Like doing a spec class or a budget class is great, but like,
What up, JP?
what's going on, JP? Please put this on your site, but also don't send those files, so I'm not a liar. Yeah. Um, anyway, Josh posted in his members only channel membership video and also in the Discord group sneak peek of the Pro Mod build, which led me to disassemble my last remaining Sorca based truck. This is all that's left of my last Sorca truck. It feels weird saying that, but honestly, I'm not sure that I will build another Sorca based truck unless I'm building something specifically to go like to nationals. If it's hey, I really want to go to nationals, I'll build a Sorca truck. But otherwise, Crawlapalooza doesn't run Sorca rules.
Yeah.
Scale Hero, the We Rock stuff, none of that stuff runs Sorca rules. So now I have a pile of parts. These will get used on a Pro Mod, and stubby VFD, VRD carbon based trans will get used in a pro mod, and sayonara to Sorka trucks, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of adapt or die, man. It's tough building stuff like this, and you take it to all you.
Somebody must have tried calling Wesley. Did somebody call you?
Yeah, yeah. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, no, it's
I
tough
found those
to
aluminum pieces.
it's tough to like build the stuff like this, and then there's nothing to run it at. And then
Yeah.
obviously get your just bomb any local competitions. So I would say I'm probably gonna start building just for whatever is local. Um,
Yep.
although
Which
I have some ideas.
Crawler Canyon Indoor for the winter, I mean, basically is kind of Sorka Light. It's probably a little bit lighter than Sorka Light rules, a little heavier than Crawlapalooza rules, but a little lighter than Sorka Light rules. So, I mean, even doing something like that, you're looking at, angled skid chassis in Class 1 and Lexan bodies on everything. So,
Yeah. Um, I mean, I like my hard body stuff, but I do see how the Lexan stuff attracts. It's easier for more people to build that way. So I understand.
well, yeah, it is. And like at Crawler Canyon, your trucks fall a long way. When you start to tumble, it tumbles all the way to the ground, and most of the top of the course is you know
On
pushing
that
6 foot
vector.
tall.
Yeah.
Well, it's like 6 foot, between 6 foot and 12 foot off the ground, and your truck is going to tumble all the way to the concrete. So hard bodies don't last long there. So it's pretty much Lexan. TGH, how's it going? You didn't call me back. I know you texted me and said you were busy, but call me back later, I guess.
Dang, you get phone calls?
Crawler Canyon does have, yeah, Crawler Canyon does have a pointed out class as well. No, it's not like Sorka point out. It's their scaled out class isn't 50, 60 points. It's like 25, 30, I think. So drive better. Hey, I tell you what, you bring your hard body truck to Illinois and you run it in there and you tell me how it works out for you, because I'm here to tell you, I've ruined a brand new body there in about 20 minutes.
Um,
The first crack on that hard body that got destroyed there wasn't even from me crashing. I was sitting at the bottom. I just put my truck down on course and somebody tossed their truck at the top and it tumbled all the way down and landed on top of mine.
the only hard body damage this weekend was the taillight lenses, which
Oh,
which I recovered. I have, and they're actually I could totally just glue them back in. So I think honestly I came out of that pretty good. I thought for sure I was gonna lose like the headlight covers and stuff, but no, we're all good. I was pretty much jamming the face of this thing uh, into rock every course, so I think I did a pretty good epoxy job up here. So
yeah, must
yeah,
have.
yeah, pretty tough.
Park better,
Pretty,
yeah, pretty
pretty
much.
tough weekend for this old girl. Also, man, I don't know
Yeah,
what it was. These trenchers, not the call. That was not good.
I've always liked trenchers down there.
It in some parts, I guess, but man, that wasn't the tire for the weekend.
Huh.
So
I've literally ran trenchers. I ran trenchers on class 1 and 2 the last 3 or 4 years.
yeah, there's
I take that back. I ran Hyraxes on I ran Hyraxes on one of them once.
I think I had the only trenchers out there. Everyone else
Huh.
was gripping better. I mean, I'm not saying they don't grip. I'm just saying others were gripping better.
Tusks and megalithics do really well. Trenches are not the move anymore down there. Tusks walk all over them. Huh.
That was pretty much the consensus. So also, J- I was being lazy. He got me a rugged, because I'm upgrading by like 2 years. I didn't realize it since you're shush. I already know the comments are coming. Um, Also, the because of the winching, I never had an issue with my three position switch for the winch. The on up, off down, dude. The momentary switch that was probably a couple courses I could have finished if I would have just swapped the radios Friday morning. Um, that might have been a couple courses I would
Huh.
have actually finished because your boy didn't do too hot at all.
Josh says Spectrum.
Oh yeah. Hey man, I just
So
gotta keep
Friday,
them
I got
strong.
jealous. Yeah, I got jealous on Friday that you guys were all down there, and I had a reasonably slow afternoon, and I had two batteries that were fully charged for the Jimmies. So I took the Jimmies down to the river, and I found a couple of new spots down by the river that were pretty cool. Um,
Did you see a van
Tires are
in a
breaking in pretty
graduated?
nice. The locals around here have switched to pickup trucks with caps on the back of them now. They're not really running
Oh,
vans anymore.
nice. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you gotta change it up every now and then.
Yeah, there's one truck down by the river, and then there's one truck over in the Coles parking lot. So winches from 2017 too. Need a faster one and put on 4S.
Oh my God, Colin, go away.
Hope you have a gentle finger for the swipe on the controller. I'll take the thumb wheel any day.
That's honestly that's why I aborted trying to. I was gonna do it, but I was trying to navigate that little touch dude, and I was like, dude, I'm just gonna run the four. That was honestly what killed
Yeah,
it for me.
yeah. Element portals. I'm assuming, Chris, that you're asking if we've seen them or if we have them. I did see them. I don't have them. I saw Josh's video on the Scale News about them, but I haven't seen them in person.
I wonder
I know
if
they're
they're any
basically
better than
two.
TRX4 portals.
I don't know. It's two front. It's two steering axles, but
Oh
then the
yeah,
rear's locked out with like a dog bone.
yeah. That looks. That's. Are you sure Red Cat didn't release that? What's going on there?
Yeah, right. I don't know. I've never had a problem with element axles, but I've also never really I never really had a lot of drive time on them. I had one element truck that I owned for probably 3 or 4 years that I drove maybe two battery packs through it. The first time I drove it was down at Crawlapalooza a couple years ago, and then Element Wheelie King. Um, I drove it at Crawlapalooza for like half a battery pack, and I broke a servo horn, and then I didn't fix it for like over a year.
I have those element axles on that Minty FJ40 I have. I kept the steer behind, and I actually kind of like the steer behind, but only just because it's for looks. It does have good steering angle. I'll give it that. But the portals, I
I mean, doing a doing a double bend steering link and flipping it up, like if you're getting hung up on that, you had to try.
It was for the scale aspect of it, because I don't know, my old 80 had the tie rod behind the front axle,
Yeah.
but it did
I drove enough element axles to know they're sloppy. Are you there? You froze on my end. I don't know if you froze on your end or not, but
I haven't been moving around a lot.
move your hand to let us know you're there. Oh, there you go. Now you're back. MT12 with the winch throttle mixing saved me a ton at Apex. I've never winched as much as I did this weekend. I don't think that I could ever get used to throttle and winch
Dude.
mixing.
I was getting used to it, even with my crappy 3-position switch. Sometimes they might comment. Depends on who you ask, who's watching me, because I had a few mishaps, a couple dozen mishaps.
Couple dozen.
Yeah. In fact, I might blur out the the numbers so nobody looks on Apex for my points. I give it to them. At least they do card number. They don't put Wesley.
The name.
First and
They
last
don't
name.
put your name.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. It is pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm just
Want to see
thankful
winch
have
mishaps?
drivers that are
Brett, tell
prepared.
them. Yeah. I missed outgoing, but also I don't think how many people placed ahead of you. How many children placed ahead of you?
That was actually one of the things I was bringing up. I'm like, hopefully I beat at least one small child in that come up.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that I'm going to go to Crawlapalooza. In fact, I don't think I am going to go to Crawlapalooza. We talked about it a little bit on the phone this morning. I think I'm going to go to Scale Hero. It's Crawlapalooza Class 2 is sold out, and I did not get a ticket early. And driving to Crawlapalooza and back last year cost me like $500 or $600. I can fly round trip from my local airport to Phoenix for $160. So I can do it cheaper and do buggy stuff, do something new. I don't know. I kind of want to try something different.
I can't blame you. Like I was telling you, I'm probably still in for Crawlapalooza, mainly because Bentonville is right up the road. Also, Arizona is like 20-hour drive for me. And if
well, that's why I'm just going to fly instead of drive.
Yeah. Well, I got the dog, dude. I don't know. If I might be out a week, taking the dog.
Well, you can take the dog on the airplane.
Yeah, I just have to. He has to be my service. He's there for other
service dog
protection or whatever.
Class 1 is sold out as well. So there you go. I mean, that kind of puts the stamp in Crawlapalooza for me, is that I didn't jump, you know.
So I'm glad they capped the tickets, but yeah, man, I got like a day job, so I can't sit there and
I mean, even
honky-tonk on some tickets.
You know, even though they capped the ticket sales last year, Schumann, it was damn near getting dark already when Chris put his truck down for the first course of the day, you know? So
yeah. Josh, it is 7.5 hours. It's not bad. You're gonna make fun of it. but I live in a big state.
It's such a Midwestern thing to say. It's only 7 hours. It's not that bad.
Brett, you freaking live in Midwest.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I say that shit too.
It's a Texas
I'll
thing
drive
to
to
say.
Florida.
I'm gonna drive an hour just to play with little trucks. That's the Texas thing
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah. I
Big
don't know.
spoon. Yeah, dude. So if you're not going to
So
Crampalooza, that means I get a whole bed to myself.
a whole cabin.
A whole.
Yeah. Can't believe that Oklahoma's 7.5 and Arizona's 20. So hard to believe. Yeah. I mean,
That might have been
I guess I could.
to what's the southern? It is Sedona. I think it's Sedona. That's like 18 or 20 hours.
Austin, Texas to Phoenix is 14 hours and 21 minutes.
Is that where it's at? Is Phoenix? Or is
Just
that's
outside
just your,
Phoenix, yeah.
that's just your air? You're referencing the airport.
Well, I just searched Phoenix, Arizona. So, but yeah, the comp is like literally right outside Phoenix. Looking
Oh,
at the
okay.
map, I'm guesstimating it's 20 to 30 minutes outside of Phoenix. So,
Okay.
yeah, Disney from Indiana, from here, Disney's, I mean, it's a 12-hour drive. It's GPS says like 11 and a half, but you got to stop 3 times for fuel. And if you got Josh with you, 5 times to pee.
Hey man, no one's judging.
He didn't even make it to the last comp. He had to poop so much. He just turned around and went home.
It's all them Hooter wings.
It must have been. I don't know. You're the best, Little Spoon. Do you have any larger events in Illinois? No. Not even little events in Illinois. Other than was that RC Fest or whatever it is, Horizon RC Fest. Other than that, it's Crawler Canyon stuff. Other than that, so I was going to say, completely off topic. The fire department showed up at my shop today, so that was cool.
Were you
Um,
playing the next track? I
I
think.
I accidentally set off the smoke detector. I was working on a bike that's been sitting for a very long time, and like a month ago, I pulled the spark plugs out and put oil down the cylinders just to lubricate everything before spinning it over and whatever. Well, today I actually got around to starting the bike for the first time, which meant that it smoked like a motherfucker when I started it, which was fine. I knew it was going to, but man, I had the radio going, this bike running, the doors open, fans blowing, and I didn't even hear the alarm going off, like at all. Had no idea it was going off. No flashing lights, nothing. I get a phone call, but my phone was on my counter and it was to my personal phone, not the shop phone. So I was like, I'm not answering that. It is what it is. Well, it was the alarm company calling me to let me know the alarm was going off. So then the fire department shows up, come in hot, and I was like, "What in the hell?" These guys come haul assing through the door, and they're like, "Is there a fire?" I'm like, "No, why?" They're like, "Your alarm's going off. Your alarm company called us." I'm like, "Huh, interesting." I walked over, and sure enough, the panel, the keypad was like flashing. I'm like, "Huh, well." I didn't even know there was a smoke detector in here, so now I know. Had no idea it
Loud
even had
mic.
one. You looking up flights to Phoenix?
No. No, I think I'm still dead set on the Michigan, or not Michigan, Bentonville mountain bike. I don't know. I haven't been there yet, so only if
Yeah.
Colin doesn't break something.
Any
Someone's gonna
in
be broken
Michigan? The
now.
Great Lakes Gauntlet is in Michigan. I think this meant to say Wes and Brett. You guys helped me tremendously on building both my Brazen LCG rigs. Nice. Can't wait to get back to Bentonville. I've seen my buddy Matt's been there a couple of times. I've seen videos and pictures of the place. It looks pretty cool. Are you going to talk about the monthly drop?
I can, yeah. There, I don't have one right now, but it is going to be a relaunch. I'm relaunching that reverse shackle leafer. Um, we've gotten a ton of messages and everything about it, so I'm just going to do another small batch of it. I think I'm going to do a refined version for like production, one that's not that shorty wheelbase, but I will be doing another of the shorter wheelbase, like Mojave extra cab um, length frames. But now it's just the waiting game for parts. I should see those actually they ship, so I'll probably see them by Wednesday. But I'll be posting pictures.
I, I cut those shock tabs today, and I should have mini skids done tomorrow/Wednesday to get
Oh
them
yeah,
out the door to you. So
good deal.
he did. He did mean Josh. Josh from Harley Designs. I'm glad Josh helped you too. I had a conversation with a customer over the weekend. Well, started last week. A guy wanted a modified high low. I don't know if you read through any of those messages or not, but the YouTube channel's Knox Bros. He was happy with his high low, but he had re-drilled the skid plate mounting as far forward as he could mount the skid in the stock rails set. So basically, like, I actually have this one drilled too, but this bottom hole, yeah, down here and where that second hole is. He had moved everything forward, and he had cut and ground on the bottom of the chassis, so he wanted me to just modify and put the holes where he wanted them. So I had cut one of our team drivers a modded high-low, which you had seen, which I had raised the belly up like a 1/4 inch on. So I ended up cutting him one of those with the skid plate moved forward 13 millimeters, so 1/2 inch, and then cut the front of the chassis off because he's not running a front bumper or anything. So I just lopped it off at the front shock tower hole for him. Which he should have received that today, so I'm curious how he's going to like that. I think he's going to like it. Just looking at the videos and stuff that he sent me of his current truck, things that he was getting hung up on where they crawl at. I'm like, yeah, this 1/4 inch extra belly clearance. And then I smoothed out the transition at the back. Because I moved the skid forward, I cut the back of where the skid normally goes off and smoothed that transition up to the rear bumper area too. So we'll see how he likes that. Dustin, how's it going? Speaking of skids, I'll let the chat decide. So with the Jimmies, you really can't run like a standard VRD or standard VFD trans. You pretty much have to run the twin. You really should run the twin, but there's guys who want to run like the deluxe NOD or whatever. So I need to change this design up and do holes for deluxe trans in here. But now I'm wondering if I shouldn't do another iteration of this with the standard axial hole spacing on the side so that we can mount twin or VFD trans in any of our stuff. but I don't know. I guess you guys can tell me in the chat if you guys even want to run, if you guys want to mount VFD or VFD twin in other chassis.
We all know Josh wants to.
Any plans for any plans for a forward skid design for Class 1?
Being
No comment currently.
yeah, nothing on the books.
Yeah. So the other thing is
Yes.
like with this drilling, doing the side holes in a different pattern, like being able to mount a VFD twin in like a VRD carbon, that hole spacing is different than the VRD carbon hole spacing is different than SCX, and they're both different than the Jimmies. So this skid only fits the Jimmies unless you drill new holes in the chassis. So if you wanted to mount this skid in this front line, theoretically it would fit, but it won't. It's not just a bolt-in thing. You would have to drill new holes in the chassis side, at least one hole in each rail. Or do we just slot the holes in the chassis and only make the one skid plate?
I'm thinking if we slot one hole, we keep a solid front hole and then a slot in the rear.
Yeah,
what's the
that would allow you
difference
to
in
run. Well, the axial pattern is 38. The VRD carbon skid plate is 39. And this is like 36.25.
So it'd be like
So,
a 3 slotted hole.
it's like a 4 millimeter slot.
That's not too bad.
It's not that bad. I don't want to buy the Exo Rainier. I want to see one race. It's coming. No, VP, and Josh are both being difficult because the standard VFD, like out of the Ford Ice or Phoenix or whatever, is regular axial pattern, and then the VRD is different, and then the Jimmy's is different.
It's because they draw in standard unit measure, so when it translates, it's different every time. That's the couple millimeters.
Yeah. What iteration is less expensive? Well, it's much easier to slot the chassis rails than it is to make 5 different skid plates.
Josh, I thought you you draw in metric and machine in standard. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I don't know. Is one of the skid holes theoretically universal for all skid? Well, I mean, you just pick the front hole or the rear hole of one of the side holes, and then you just slot the other hole. This sounds really bad when you take this out of context.
I would slot the rear hole because you always have the front one is your fixed point.
Yeah.
But
because you're especially with,
and if you're running like an angle, if it's something weird, that's gonna be your bash point. So I don't know if that having a slot there would be more of like I'd want that to be like the most robust part. Yeah, business in the front.
With CMS, it's more important to keep. Yeah. With CMS, it's more important to keep your front link placement where it needs to be. Now, 3 millimeters, 2 millimeters front and back in the chassis. Does that change anything? Probably not.
I'd rather make up
David,
for that range.
what builder's kit? Yeah, you make up the wheelbase in the rear links, but most of the stuff isn't CMS anymore anyway.
Yeah. That's so Sorka 2021.
Yeah. Does slotting the rear hole create too much slop for the rear links? No, because that screw for the, well, especially the way we do it, the set screw captures your link in the center of the skid, so that wouldn't move at all.
Separates through.
And yeah, the skid plate would keep the link placement, not the chassis side hole. Are you running a separate screw for the skid? Well, it doesn't. Realistically, it doesn't matter because the screw, I guess, it goes through the chassis, through the skid, and then through the links. So you're double shear on the link, and you're passing through a whole section of the skid. So, wish they'd do that with the capper skid. Gross.
Do you know, is that a whole nother bolt pattern, or is that the 38?
No, that's totally different too.
You see what kind of see the turmoil and stress this causes us, everybody? Jesus.
Yeah. Slot the chassis rail sounds way gooder. It's the easiest way, but
yeah,
I mean, realistically, it would only take us. It would only take us a couple minutes to change those files, and then just make it a running, rolling change, and not even really have to mention it to anybody about anything.
Kind of just because I remembered, a little off topic. Tim was pointing out at Apex Scale Challenge, there were a substantial amount of height loads. Old ones, new ones. I was like, hell yeah.
I mean, it's one of the most popular chassis we've had.
But you can definitely tell that was a frame that was made for that area. So that was one of your better options to be running out there.
Yeah.
Although I did see a hard
I think as long as the Pace Setter was in the finals, so
yeah.
I don't know whose Wi-Fi is junk tonight. It's either yours or mine, but one of our Wi-Fi sucks. I think as long as the front skid hole is fixed and the rear is slotted, there would be no movement. If both were slotted in the chassis, you would risk movement. As long as your screws were tight, the chances of it moving are pretty slim, especially if you've got sliders and the chassis and a Delrin or whatever type skid that you can really reef the screws down on. I don't think, and even if it did move in the chassis, we're talking about a millimeter or two. I'm not sure you'd even notice it.
Colin,
I probably had the oldest.
Your truck is cool, but we're getting you a new frame, bud. And you're building it in a month.
Yeah.
I'm gonna trade Colin some rear links for a frame. Also the swapping out I think so. There's a couple factors: heat and the whoop how. But I was kind of bending these 55-25s right here. Actually, that was where most of the leverage was. So it's kind of a weird bend spot for that long of a plastic link. In case anybody's curious, I think
those are the JADO rod ends.
Yeah, I think I swapped like 4 of those out. It was basically every maybe 3 or 4 courses, I was swapping one out. Oh yeah, so Apex, we didn't have 3 courses. There was like 12.
Yeah.
12 or 4? Yeah, 12. I think 12. I don't know. We'll see how
How
many DNFs I have. That'll tell me how many courses there were.
how about a slotted two-piece chassis to adjust the wheelbase like a 10-3? You mean like an Ascender? We used to offer way back in the day. We offered a two-piece chassis for the
Oh, come
Ascender.
on, man. Are you
So the
trolling me
thing
right
about it
now?
was, you have to change the rear links also. Um, and the way Viterra did it was they included aluminum uh, like hollow spacers and longer set screws. So you had a threaded aluminum link. It was a hollow aluminum link with an M3 thread on the end of it, and you would change the set screw, put a long set screw in and a spacer to make the link longer, and then you put the rod end back on, and then you could adjust the chassis to whatever length you wanted for wheelbase.
Colin said, "Hey, now the infiltrator got you to finish a course." So funny. I will highlight this. Timmy Kennedy. Um, I was towards the end of the day, and I'm like, Tim, just come winch me through this course, so we can get the heck out of here. um, I finished that course he sticked me through, so I was like, what's going on, Jake and everybody? Y'all don't want me finishing a course. So, thanks, Tim. That was the only course I finished for the weekend. Was the one he
Nice.
stick me through.
I ran my Oracle Sunday and made one of the most difficult line in our area, nearly vertical climb using Scorpios nonetheless. Wow, using Scorpios is the most impressive part of that. Great time at Apex, ready for Palooza, and some cooler weather. The heat was brutal. Um,
I will
we
note
got that
that
heat
heat.
here now.
I will note that heat was 20 degrees cooler than what I'm dealing with currently.
Yeah.
I
What's
told
what's the
I told
temperature down there
Colin.
today?
I didn't even look. I know my computer ain't right now. Well, it did rain. My computer says 79. Maybe I'm. I don't. I don't think that's accurate. If it is, it's
Um,
because it's raining.
we are getting some interesting heat. It's currently 85, feels like 89 with 60% humidity.
Ooh.
Tomorrow is supposed to be 98 with like 115 heat index. Wednesday is 90 with 100-degree heat index. So we're getting some heat up here.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. The humidity, man, that's gonna be a killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? I had a
Um,
jacket on
Adjustable
everyone
wheelbase.
else's
Just change the
hoodie.
links like every other. Oh, was in the 90s there. Yeah. It's it's sticky around here right now. This morning it was like 95% humidity when I first woke up. It was like 74 degrees and 95% humidity.
Gross.
Like that's gross. Yeah. Anyway, other than hot weather and winch gates, sounds like it was a good time.
No, it was a good time. Just the courses took longer than so there were 6 courses each day, so that's why there was 12 total. That took longer than anticipated. So by the time we got back, we were just ready to grab some food and just chill out and hang out. Um,
I saw there was a big group photo. Did you guys all basically everybody go out to dinner together or something the one night?
yeah, we all went to what is the Mexican restaurant, the only Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
The
probably the
place that gives
same
you to
tables.
go cups for your water.
To go cups for the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no. Or wait, no, that was at the Cove. That you talking about the picture? I think Tammy put up. I might have been at the Cove actually.
Yeah.
I don't
I was
know.
gonna say it didn't look like the Mexican restaurant, but they could have renovated it.
No, I think the picture. So I haven't been on. I've been kind of busting butt today at work, so I wasn't on too much. But I think it was. Yeah, Theron's right. It was the Cove, if I remember. Because Timmy had the waitress would take the picture, and then everyone surrounding the group of people were like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, what's going on here? I don't want to be in
There's
that
a
picture.
You should have saw their face. So we walked in and we said, "Yeah, it's gonna be like 15 to 20," but we didn't know that like 10 people were already there. They kind of rolled their eyes at us and was like, "I gotta fit 20 more people in here." Um, but then we're
That's
like,
usually what they do when we go into the Mexican spot too.
"Yeah, I don't." I think they appreciate the tips after, but pretty much taking over the restaurant. I don't think that they're huge fans of that.
Yeah,
I don't know. How does that place do it
yeah.
when there's like the BMR, or, there's bigger stuff that goes on there. How do they survive for that? 'Cause I don't think the RC thing's the biggest events they have where people come and eat.
Probably not. No.
I don't think so.
I need to. Oh, my pricey shocks. That's what I was gonna say. My pricey shocks should be here tomorrow for the Jimmy's buggy, so I can get these trash ass Amazon shocks off of it.
That was kind of a quick ship then, right? Is
Well,
that
they
week?
shipped. It's been well Friday last. So Friday was a week. Thursday last week was a week. So 10 days, 11 days,
Oh,
12 days to get from Australia to here.
that's still pretty good.
They're in Indian. Yeah, they're in Indianapolis now, so I should have them tomorrow.
Nice.
That'll be nice to get these shitty old shocks off of it.
Yeah, dude. What else? Oh, so the laser order that I have, there'll be some stock put in there. I know some of the aluminum stuff's been slacking. Um, so lost some aluminum stock. What do we got? C1 Pros. I didn't order high lows. I'm holding off on that because I don't want to be stocked up on high lows in case something else comes out.
Yeah, people have been asking about high lows, and it's just like, well,
You might
maybe
want to hold
maybe
on.
hold off. Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
hold on just.
save your cash just a little bit longer, unless you're building for Crawlapalooza or something.
Yeah. Yep. Being in the service industry, I can say it never hurts to call in and let them know a large group is coming. Yeah, but with our large groups, we never know what the hell we're doing until 5 minutes before, until everybody's in the vehicle headed in a direction. We don't know what the hell's going on. So
Yeah, so we decided we are gonna go eat, and then we sat around. I guess you could call it a fire. It was like a mosquito candle Tim lit off. Um, and then we're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go eat." And then sat there, and then I looked at Colin, and
cool.
I was like, "Colin, get up. We're just gonna head towards there." And then then everyone else started to slowly migrate over there. So yeah,
Yeah,
no, we don't really know what we're doing, man. Plus, I don't know if they take reservations. I
probably
don't know if
not. But
it's
you just got to let them. Just letting them know that a big group's coming is a different thing.
yeah, I guess.
Uh, my Pricey's just shipped Friday after 2 months. Must be nice. Good thing I wasn't in a hurry. He was great to work with. Though. I mean, mine were they were more than they were mine were more than that. So
So
I saw the
are
something
those
else. You should wait.
CNC? What's the
I don't know.
don't know?
I don't know.
What's all the
I
hubbub
saw the
about?
something else. You should wait. Yeah, and then you don't know how many more straggles are follow. That's exactly it. Also, I saw the something else. You should wait. Yeah, there were multiples of them in finals at a at a nasty event. So
Yeah, dude. No, it
It
was
was cool
cool.
though
I
that there
actually,
was it was literally Brazen and CBE, and that's it in the finals
I
at
I
an event
messaged
put on by CBE.
I messaged Baskins earlier. I'm like, dude, it was so cool seeing the top six being Brazen and CB frames. Kind of cool deal.
Yeah, yeah. So Jake got third, and Tim got fifth, sixth.
Uh, this so it was yeah. Jake got third. Where did Tim get? Fifth. Tim got fifth.
Yeah.
Josh, I think
Last
it's
week you put in
Jonathan
an order to be
Baskins.
eligible. Yeah, it's Jonathan Baskins. Paul reminded us this is last week to be ordered for the RC or eligible for the RC Underdog giveaway.
Yeah, I'll be
Yeah,
putting some
so
more posts up about that. But yeah, I mean, your order could potentially win you a Cap Chopra slider. Kind of
yep,
cool deal.
the pace setter took sixth.
It's pretty impressive, man.
That was Red Dirt RC, correct? With the
Yes.
yes, Red Dirt RC crawlers. Yeah. So yeah, super cool. Glad that the event went well. Glad the weather was nice.
What's cool is the that pace setter is the only production chassis in the finals.
He was
Because
driving it, that's for sure.
the CBE was prototype as well. So none of those frames other than the pace setter that got finals there you can actually purchase. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Um, doing an IFS front leaf rear element build with an extra cab. Wondering if you guys are going to do that chassis sometime soon.
Who said that, Paul?
No, Plunkenstein.
Um, honestly, you could probably just message us because I do plan after. So the next like month and a half is if we're gonna be doing these comps and stuff, it's gonna be busy. But I do want to set up the like a pre-order for the IFS kit, but that one's a little like that's a smaller like um market. I would say. I would say just kind of hit
Yeah,
us up. I can probably give
yeah,
you a
that's
rough
definitely a
estimate.
pre-order.
It might be something I'll have to just do with the linked pre-order batch and then just order it because it's the same parts. It's just a different frame with mounts provisions for the leaf springs. So I mean, I don't see any reason
Yeah,
I couldn't just toss that in there. But I'll probably just do that with the pre-order of that IFS kit. That one's gonna be time though because
it's a
there's
good
the
question.
3D printed parts and stuff. But I'll give everyone a
Yeah.
heads up.
Checkered asked, with an event like that, is there an advantage to locals more familiar with the terrain? I mean, absolutely, because they're used to, they know what tires work, they know what foams work, they know, where the good spots are. They know you can look at the rock and see different traction if you're familiar with it. Where I come from Indiana, where we've got dirt and tree roots down to a place that's literally granite. Um, so my setup is totally different there versus here.
Right.
So of course there's at least some advantage being local. Now, Tim and Jake, while they're not local, Um, they are there more frequently than I am, so I don't know how much of an advantage or how much of advantage they made up for with
Well,
just how many times they've been there.
yeah, like we're discussing, even just something as simple as the tires. Like these have always hooked up for me there, but I didn't know that there was a new tire that hooked up better. So I was out tired. I mean, obviously out trucked, but
Yeah,
even just something simple like tires, man, that could be a killer. I mean, anybody that races or does anything off road related, on road related, um, I mean, that's an advantage. So I mean, being local definitely will help out. Um,
yeah,
but you'll know next year. I know I will.
yeah. It's not for comping, but straight up cheater. Do you guys ever see anyone using AR-60 axles with LCG rails? Not usually, because of how wide the link mounts are. You have to run crazy bent links to get from the skid plate to the axles, and they get in the way of shocks and tires, and it's just a mess. You either have to run the Wraith skid plate to widen the chassis itself out
Mhm.
and get rid of that weird link issue, or just run Capra based axles instead.
And depending on where you're going, you're gonna be really wide if you plan on
Yeah.
running like a comp with gates. I
I
know
said not for
this
comping,
thing.
just cheater stuff, but
Yeah, this truck this weekend super wide as it turns out, and this is pretty much normal.
yeah,
Yeah, no, learned quite a bit of stuff there. Um, I'm just a stickler for looks, man. This might not be everyone's thing, but I like the I like the truck that looks cool. It looks like I could build this in my
my
driveway.
my son and I have been comping as much as possible. He took fifth at Colorado State Championship, and I managed seventh with my pace setter, and then got sixth at Apex. You're doing good, especially for a bolt-on. Now the SCX10 Pro
Yeah.
is a great platform to begin with. So when I say a bolt-on, I mean it's a
I
fantastic setup. You don't have to go full custom with.
yeah, I was calling it just an upgraded RTR chassis.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, that's
How
pretty
would you rank?
substantial.
How would you rank chassis on the spectrum compared to tires, phones, electronics, etc., etc.? Um, most chassis that are forward bias now, the weight bias is going to be similar on them, so they're going to break over reasonably the same. So I don't know that the chassis, like the skid angle, I don't know that played much of a factor. I would say more rear link shape probably played more of a factor down there, not being there. But I think that probably would have played more of a factor at that event than the chassis itself. You alive?
Yeah, I was gonna go with like a percentage. I think how I usually get a percentage for like a truck, like a percentage of traction is like, I think 40 to 60% of the truck's traction is gonna be tires. And then everything frame wise, where you put all your stuff, that just compound like adds up um, to build a higher percentage of traction. So like tires could be 40 to 60%. A better frame, a better placement of items could be like, give you a 20 or 30% advantage.
Yeah,
And weight, stuff
you're,
like that.
you're all about
Whatever
the
you're
looks.
doing to push the tire into the ground is gonna be, you're just upping your traction.
Yeah, you're all about the looks, and still didn't win the show and shine. Rigged.
I know. Well, to be fair, there was a guy that did like I got some pictures of it. It's a pretty cool truck. But he has like a body shop, and he does the like um, all the air. I don't want to say it's an airbrush, but he does like lowrider style paint. And it was like candy red. I'm gonna make it sound ridiculous. Hey, delete that comment, Josh. 5 minute timeout. 5 minute timeout. Actually, no, that'll be an
Yeah.
excuse. I'll take that. uh,
So Theron said the CBE rear link angles were insane. Now I'm going to show the picture that you texted me earlier, and you can see in this picture the rear links like go up to the chassis and then they angle right back down to the axle. Now that to me looks like a giant hang up hinge point. Now I saw this picture of a different truck in one of the LCG groups, and I texted this to you to where I feel like this rear link setup would have been better at that event. Not that I really condone this type of build as a scale truck, but like that looks like it would have worked way better at that event as
well,
far as
then,
breakover clearance goes
um, I had also
instead of
messaged.
this.
Yeah, well, it's funny because these cheater trucks that are built always just kind of float around the internet. um, they don't ever go to stuff like this.
Yeah,
If
that's
I
true.
had to guess, if I had to
Right.
guess, they had that rear link set up to maybe follow the line of the drive shaft. But I really didn't look too
But if they
close
ran a
at that.
carrier bearing, then
Yeah,
yeah.
which will be the new hot thing. But
Looks like an old school Mantis chassis. We're really toting the line on sporties here, aren't we? Like these aren't
I,
these
I
aren't
thought
scale trucks anymore. They're,
so. I kind of discussed that with John Wagner. I was like, these trucks like that. Some of these trucks are just bred for that event and only that event. I don't think you could run those anywhere else, maybe in a sportsman class. But I mean, as far as
that guy.
participating or driving out somewhere in another sanctioned event, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, that guy talks to you,
Who? Oh no, yeah, no,
John Wagner.
yeah, we're actually hanging out at the fire. Him and his buddies came over. Um,
Huh. I don't. I He doesn't talk to me. I
yeah, I've been kind of
don't know.
initiating
Af-
conversations. I think after like a couple years, man,
After
I'm
he
just
thought I was
tired.
selling those,
Oh yeah, honestly, I forgot, dude. To be honest, or you know how people are on social media, man. They're hyped up about. They get all fired up about something for like 10 minutes, forget about it the next day. Um,
yeah, I don't know.
or maybe like they had a realization that that not everything's about them, or uh, little posts on social media aren't that important.
Yeah, yeah. I keep my links as high as possible, as long as the drive shaft's not like 2 inches below. That's fine. I would say that most of the chassis are more capable than most of us have the skills to drive. The pace setter was definitely not the limiting factor for my truck at Apex. It was all driver skill. Now that's one thing, and then course design is another. Like
I think
running
drivers
running
limited.
these gnarly.
It'd have been funny to see what Jake could do. If I was like, Jake, you can drive this. Don't worry about the body. I'd like to see what he can do. I
Yeah,
can glue it back, dude. It's not a big deal.
beards are intimidating, and the fact that if somebody opens their mouth first, I don't have a problem talking back. Um, you know the old saying, "Two wrongs don't make a right." I'm not trying to make a right. I'm proving a point. That's me. I usually won't say something first, but I'll definitely say something back. Oh man, this is what it is, though, right?
Yeah, I've been trying to be less social media reactive lately, man.
Like I said, I don't start shit, but I certainly don't take it.
True. Yeah.
Anyway, it's past 9 o'clock. It's still 85 degrees outside. I'm ready to get out of here, go home, and have a cold glass of water.
Yeah. Red Dirt, DM me on Facebook or Instagram. I got pictures of your truck, dude. I can send them to you.
Yeah, you got a couple of good ones.
I haven't even went through the camera. I had like 5 minutes to spare this morning, so I looked through like the couple that I've sent to you. Um, that's all I'm gonna do that after the stream. Actually, is go through my camera. The work,
Cool.
the excited look on my face for looking at hundreds of pictures. I'll probably pick
Yeah,
like 7 to 10 pictures out of like 300 pictures. So that's how I am.
probably.
But we'll have thumbnails for a while, fresh ones.
Cool.
But
Well, thank you everybody for checking in on us again on a Monday night. Next Monday should be probably not because it's a holiday, unless I'm feeling froggy.
if I'm feeling froggy, possibly I'm a 50-50. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
make a poll. I'll make a poll on Instagram or something. No, I won't
Okay.
do that. 'Cause you know what? If something comes up and there's a good mountain bike ride or something, I'm gonna chill out, dude. Or if one of my buddies taking their boat out. Although I don't
That's
know,
what's
man.
going on. Yeah.
Labor Day traffic, boat traffic, that actually sounds stressful. Not that I'm driving at all, though.
Well, I was gonna say, not as long as it's not your problem, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
September drop will be on the 1st, which is Sunday this time. Is it Sunday? I think it's Sunday.
Yes. Sunday, 6 p.m.
Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, and it is a
Another
reverse
weekend drive.
shackle. Yeah, reverse shackle Leaf Springs.
I'll make an official post about it later on, but for those of you who watch the live stream, I'll give you a heads up.
Right.
I might post them up
Cool.
Friday or something, but
Yeah. And thanks again to Paul for the $4.99. And yes, don't forget every order on brazenscalerc.com for the month of August gets you into the RC Underdog giveaway. He's giving away a high-low slider with a Capra cage and a bunch of other parts. So
it'd be
follow the
all
RC
set up,
Underdog.
dude.
He's got we'll get Paul. I'll get Paul the information probably next week sometime. And I don't know if we want to. Do we want to get a hold of the winner or let Paul? I think we let Paul handle that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We talked about announcing on live stream, but I feel like that's maybe he'll announce it. I don't know.
I don't know.
TBD.
We'll figure that out. Figure that out when we get there.
I'm gonna
So,
go through
anyway.
some pictures and catch up on some sleep because I've been running on E today.
Yeah.
But
Cool. All right. I'm hitting the buttons. Thanks everybody for checking in. Later.